going on, Jerome's? So the Minnesota Vikings entered the 2025 draft with not a lot of draft capital. Four picks, a 1, 3, a 5, and a 6. And Kwesi, through various trades, turned it into 5 picks, as well as quarterback 2, Slinging Sam Howell, a.k.a. a quarter of South Korea's quarterback. That's right, man. And overall, like, the Vikings getting Donovan Jackson, 24, securing that offensive line. Ty Felton, speedster wide receiver. Special teams dynamo as well. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins could be a little something at that 5-tech Russian, as well as setting the edge. Kobe King, a thumper, 2-down linebacker, and plus special teamer, as well as Gavin Bartholomew, a really solid tight end 3 for the Vikings. Overall, given the circumstances, I think the Vikings did a damn good job. Well, the Vikings could have drafted... love the one you're with. So overall, I'm pretty confident in this draft class. Of course, the Vikings could have drafted 5 dudes from ISIS. I'd be like, well, I don't know. Maybe they can play. Don't know. But either way, especially with Donovan Jackson, who is for real. Come on, man. And of course, Mel Kiper Jr. So honestly, I feel like Mel Kiper Jr. should be done on TV, because I think that ESPN's draft coverage was unbearable. NFL Network was way better, because ESPN had leaned so far in on the Shedeur Sanders narratives that once he fell in the draft, other teams made different decisions, that it just became unwatchable. It was bad, right? And I felt bad for all of the players that were actually being drafted, in the first 143 picks, because think about it. Hey, it's their big time moment. They're going to record NFL Network, and ESPN is like, hey, this is when Grandpa got drafted. But then it's like, all right, so Team XYZ drafted this dude. And about Shedeur Sanders. Oh, the NFL teams of the last 50 years don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Blah, blah, blah. So I understand. Like, there was a lot of draft analysts that were wrong about the Shedeur Sanders evaluation. Now, they may be right about him on the field, but all the off-the-field ancillary stuff, the interviews and all that things, reasons why teams went in a different direction, I mean, they just read the market wrong. It's what happens, man. But Kiper was definitely like old man yells at cloud for 3 days, and it was just ridiculous. But long story longer, Mel Kiper Jr.'s draft grades come out. Now, draft grades are stupid on his face, and this is more just exercise for entertainment for me, because I think Kiper's just lost it straight up. And now, the best part about it is, like, obviously he was all in on Shedeur, said he should have been the number 1 pick, pissed and moaned about him for 3 days. The only team that got an A-plus grade is the Browns. Who, by the way, the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. And then they circled back. It looked like, from Andrew Berry and Stefanski's face, that owner Jimmy Haslam was just like, you're drafting Shedeur at 144. So, cool. Yeah, but the only team to get an A+, Cleveland Browns, that tracks. So the Vikings is getting a B-, right? I didn't expect too much. But what's interesting is that Kiper was one of the few draft analysts nationally that had projected Donovan Jackson as a first-round pick, and also he had linked up Jackson with the Vikings in a couple of his mock drafts. So I feel like that should have been higher. I mean, you were right for once. Mel, come on. But this is what Mel wrote. Mel's ghostwriter wrote, top needs entering the draft: guard, cornerback, defensive tackle. Now, every other mom said that the Vikings had a need at corner. I didn't agree. Rodgers is going to be an every down corner. Mekhi Blackman, year 3, is going to be a solid. Byron Murphy Jr., they just paid in the slot. And Asante Samuel Jr. may be on his way. You don't know. So I didn't think the corner was as big of a need as everyone else thought, right? Defensive tackle, sure. The Vikings have one of the NFL's most talented roosters around one of the biggest unknowns of the 2025 season. It appears they're going to ride with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. Oh, should they have drafted Shedeur? Was that your answer? Is that why the Vikings have a B-? The 2024 first-rounder who missed his rookie campaign because of a knee injury. They let Sam Darnold walk in free agency and passed up a chance to bring in Aaron Rodgers to be with the here it is. There it is. They also trade back around 5 on Saturday to acquire Sam Howell, who should be the backup. Can McCarthy thrive? He has all the tools. I ranked him number 15 in my final big board last year. Again, opinions on players always comes back to your opinion, the big board. Minnesota, however, came into this draft with just 4 total picks. The fewest of any team. The Vikings had 1 more via trade with the Rams. If general manager Kwesi adofo-mensah was going to help out his young passer, he was going to have to do it with a surgical precision. The first move was Donovan Jackson round 1. He will take Blake Brandel's spot at left guard, where he will help both as a pass protector and run blocker. Somewhat surprising, Jackson was 3rd guard off the board at number 24. Why is it surprising? Again, you had literally mock draft Donovan Jackson to the Vikings in your mocks. Did he forget that? Or did the ghostwriter forget that? I know. The Vikings got... Wait, that was the only mention? Like, he didn't pat himself on the back for mocking Jackson to the Vikings? Wow. The Vikings got some value with the next few picks. Receiver Ty Felton had 96 catches last season. Minnesota, 96 questions. Minnesota landed my number 83 prospect at 102, edge rusher Ingram-Dawkins. Didn't fill the stat sheet in a deep Georgia rotation, but he has some traits that can be developed. He was my number 123 on my board, acquired at 139. So, again, it always comes back to the board. Adofo-Mensah did what he could with the team's limited picks, but I wanted to see the Vikings snag an impact cornerback who could thrive in Brian Flores' aggressive system. How are they going to do that with that many picks? All right. If you drafted impact cornerback, you weren't going to get Jackson. You weren't going to get Felton. You weren't going to get TID. And late day 3, are you going to find an impact cornerback? I don't know. Minnesota's last team to make a pick on defense, Ingram-Dawkins 139, and it didn't do anything at corner, but the Vikings, like the young corners they already have in room. Exactly. It's just like safety. Hey, Vikings need a safety. Vikings need Starks. Vikings need Emma Ward. Vikings need this. Maybe they just love Theo Jackson, and they're going to extend Metellus. Anyone ever think of that? Either way. But it's kind of funny. Again, Kiper literally mocked Jackson to the Vikings, and the Vikings still got a B- in this card because they didn't draft an impact corner. Like, what do you want them to do? But like I said, this is all nonsense. I mean, draft grades, you can't really fed around until like 3 years into the whole thing. But again, it's funny. It's funny. And I when I saw the article, when I saw the link for the article, I knew a bajillion % that the Browns would be the only team with an A+, and he did not disappoint. That tracks. It's funny, man. Anyways, Mel Kiper Jr. Todd. His draft grades are out, and the Vikings got a B-. Whatever. I mean, you'd be homeless if you don't get A. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.